Hi guys, in this video we are going to discuss Max Weber's Trinitarian view of social stratification. So, it's very important chapter and this is very important topic also, and this is one of the most important topic that I can say under paper one, and especially in your chapter on social stratification. And UPSC have repeatedly asked questions. They either compare Marx and Weber view on stratification, or specifically they have asked about Weber's multidimensional view on stratification. See, when we discussed Marx, he tried to explain inequality on the basis of only one dimension, that is ownership of means of production. But when we discuss here, he'll explain that in terms of three distinct dimensions. So when Marx talk about class, here you will be seeing three different dimensions. And I've seen that in diagram also in our class, and I've given the PDF also. So here I'll just go through that. See the basic difference. If you are getting a question between Marx and Weber on stratification, the basic difference is, like, Marx believed nature made everyone equal, but society introduced inequality. And this inequality arises because some people control the means and forces of production, and the forces of production. So they control that. So they get everything. They get the surplus. So that means class is the only basis of stratification according to Marx. Those are the owners of the means of production, those who control the forces of production. See, Weber also agreed that inequalities exist, but he rejected the reduction of stratification to that economic factor alone. So one of the point that you can mention is Marx only take into consideration the economic factors. Weber look at multi-dimensional factors, right? So Weber's key argument, if you see, social stratification is multi-dimensional and it is not one-dimensional, not monodimensional. And he said society is stratified based on three interdependent and independent or interrelated factors. So these are one, class, as Marx discussed, that's the economic criteria, class. And then the next is status, the prestige, social honor, like that. And later we will study in the Indian context this as caste. Okay. And then third one, party, that's nothing but the political influence or the power. So simply economic, social and political dimension is taken. Class, status, and party. Class is the economic dimension. Status is the prestige, social honor, that's the social dimension. Party, that's the power or the political influence, that's the political dimension. So this basically allow a person to be high on one dimension, like a Brahmin. If you take a poor Brahmin, if you take, he's high in terms of its status, right, the prestige, social honor, but in terms of that economic criteria, he is poor. So I hope you got the point. Similarly, a minister, so a Dalit minister, he's a minister, politically he's powerful, but if you look at the status wise, he's a Dalit and he is like considered untouchable, is part of Avarna. So it can be high on one dimension, low on other, and there can be overlapping also. And the one who comes in the middle, like if you draw a Venn diagram, the one who comes in the middle, ABC, class, status, and power, a rich, a Brahmin, and a minister who's rich, economically powerful, Brahmin, status-wise also powerful. I'm talking about Indian context, and minister, so politically also is powerful. So this is what we can say, giving more sophisticated understanding of inequality, right? See, again, if I want to give an example, a university professor, he's having high status, he's a professor, but his income moderate. What about his power? Political power very low. So status is high, moderate income, very low in terms of political power. So a very, very clear example. Right. Now, when we talk about class, Weber understood class not as a community, but basically as a group of people who share the similar market situation. So you need to understand how Weber understood class or defined class. It's the group of people who share similar market situation. So when you're explaining this three dimension, you need to explain each of these. So when you talk about class, you need to say that it's not just a community, it's a group of people who share the similar market situation. What does that mean? Class is based on economic life chances. It depends on skills, education, property, job market conditions, and all these factors. And those who share the similar life chances, they belong to the similar class. Now, the question is, what do you mean by life chances? It is nothing but the access to rewards, advantages, opportunities, which are shaped by the economic conditions. Okay, again, Weber identified several classes, mainly four classes. Like Marx talking about upper class, middle class, lower class, and class polarization. Middle class get polarized into upper class and lower class through bourgeoisization and proletarianization. That's the class polarization and everything. But for Weber, multiple classes are there, four main classes. You need to mention this also. Propertied upper class, propertyless white collar workers, petty bourgeois, and manual working class. And these categories, they come directly from the text and are very central to Weber's understanding of class. So you definitely have to code these exactly. Weber mentioned these four groups, and you have to mention this in your answer if you are getting a question on stratification, multidimensional stratification, and where you need to explain about the class. You have to talk about the market situation, you have to talk about the life chances, you have to mention these four classes. Cool. Now let's move on to the status group, which is very simple. It is nothing but status is the social estimation of honor, like your lifestyle, the consumption pattern, the social visibility part, etc. And see, occupations associated generally with respect part. Teacher, always have that respect. Monk, right? Doctor, get that respect. So there is a status with that. That's what I told you, university professor, high status. So status group means they share the similar social honor. That's the status group. And they also maintain boundaries through lifestyle, marriage restrictions into that particular group, right? And see, it may not correspond to class. I've told you already. You see, priest, a Brahmin priest have a high status but low class. If you see, low, politically also less powerful. So Weber emphasized that status groups can restrict social mobility. Where we discussed about Marx, he completely ignored this status group part, right? So this is something different. So this is another dimension, which means what? You can be higher at one, but lower at other, right? So multiple dimensions of stratification exist, not only economic aspect. Now, the third is political. But for Marx, this political aspect, if you are rich there, you will automatically get powerful here. That's the assumption, right? Because this politics and everything is part of superstructure. But for Weber, it's not like that. The political dimension is giving so much importance. And like here, the groups are organized to gain power and influence the decision making. That's what I mean by party. Party, when he talk about, it's the political aspect. Party means the groups which are organized to gain the political power or influence the decision making, not necessarily based on class or status. It's entirely different. So it can include political parties, it could be pressure groups, it could be unions that also considered as party, right? Caste organizations, religious bodies, all these comes under this category. And what Weber says is parties work in planned ways to influence the social order, and they may be personal, material, or ideological. So they'll have the power to influence. And for example, if I want to give trade unions, party, right? They can influence wages, even if their members are low class or low status, but still they have the power to influence the wages. So let me compare Marx and Weber once again. Marx talk about class is the only form of stratification. What about Weber? Three dimension. So one dimension, three dimension. So you need to talk about class here. You need to talk about class, status, party here, right? Economic, social, and political dimension. For Marx, it's based on ownership of means of production. For Marx, it's based on market situation, lifestyle, power, status. And for Marx, there are only two classes, upper class, lower class, bourgeois, proletariat. There may be intermediate class, but class polarization occurs. But for Weber, multiple class and mainly four classes that you need to mention. And then for Marx, polarization is inevitable. But for Weber, life chances vary, mobility is possible, and middle class is getting strengthened. For Marx, he said class develop class consciousness that finally lead to revolution. But for Weber, stratification will remain. It can shift, but it will remain, right? So this is how you can make the comparison, and this is a very highly relevant comparison. These points must be there in your answer, whether it is 20 marker or 10 marker. This is a comparison you have to make. This is well prepared. There is one more thing that I can say Weber's contribution to stratification, social closure. They can ask this again separately as 10 marker. Weber introduced this social closure, which refers to that's a mechanism used by groups to monopolize resources and opportunities. So social closure means they restrict the outsiders and they maintain the privilege. For example, caste endogamy in India. You can marry within the caste, right? So it's basically you are mobilizing that, resources within the group. Professional licensing, doctors, lawyers, etc. Residential segregation. These are examples of social closure. Elite educational institution. And Celia Heller uh, criticized that social closure can so Celia Heller criticized, yeah, social closure can reinforce inequalities. Now, when you look at modern inequality and Weber, in fact, appreciated the objective inequalities, the measurable inequalities, subjective inequalities also, the perceived inequalities. See, when I talk about objective inequality, like quantitative, quantifiable, measurable. Subjective means perceived inequalities. Ulrich Beck, in Risk Society, he argued modern inequalities are based on risk position, not just class or status. Because risk taking, risk avoidance, that shape the life chances, like present day scenarios, if you look at it, right? And that integrate very well with Weber's multidimensional approach, actually. Now, why this is very good, right? Weber's model, what is the strength of this? Strength, right? So Weber's model basically helped to explain why high status but low income group also exist. Teachers have high status, low income group. Why political power does not always come from wealth? Because you can see caste-based parties, right? That is not from wealth. But what Marx says, economic infrastructure shapes superstructure. But here, caste-based political aspect, it's not from economic infrastructure. It's a social structure which creates social structure, I can say. Caste-based political groups, right? Similarly, why consumption patterns, that's the social honor, very much important or matter in social mobility. And why inequalities are reproduced culturally, the status lifestyle. So I repeat, why high status but low income group exist. We can give example of teachers, Brahmin priest, etc. Why political power does not always come from wealth. Why I stress on this is because Marx says economic infrastructure, that wealth create politicians, powerful people also, not the case. Dalit political associations, they are also very powerful, right? So you can write that. Now, what are the criticisms? See, again, too much emphasis on individual life chances and ignoring the structural power, like in case of Marx. And also difficult to empirically measure the social honor, right? That's another criticism. And party overlap with economic and status factors. That's there. These are for the sake of criticizing. You can say sometimes overcomplicated without giving predictive clarity. So, sorry. So these are the things that you need to know. Questions they can ask you. Compare the views of Marx and Weber on class. Discuss Weber's multidimensional approach to stratification. Explain the concept of status group in Weberian sociology. They can ask you what is social closure, illustrate with examples. These are high probability topic. So prepare well, guys. This one, Weber's Trinitarian approach. It's a more realistic and more flexible exploration of modern inequality. Marx focused on one dimension. He focused on multiple dimension: class, status, party, market situation, social honor, and political power. And this multidimensionality makes Weber indispensable and very much important when it comes to the study of social stratification. So that's about the session. I'm sorry for this. Thank you so much for attending. Okay, till now. I see you in the next session. If you are looking for any mentorship or classes or test series on sociology, get in touch with us. See you there.